I discovered that all these symptoms of post-traumatic stress, they have triggers. And so some of those triggers would be operations, they'd be anniversaries, news of the shootings. Just last year there was a Texas police officer shot in the head and killed, and I took that a little bit tough, because that could have been me. And so sometimes I can prepare for what's ahead, and that's helped. But sometimes things just appear out of the blue. Who remembers the Band of Brothers series? Yep. Yeah, it's about the soldiers in Europe, airborne, working their way across in the Second World War. There was another series, and this one was set in the Pacific, and it was about the Marines. And in fact, it was called The Pacific. This is the Blu-ray collection right here. You think there was a lot of carnage, blood, and gore in that? Yep. Didn't affect me at all. Like when Black Hawk Down came out in 2001, I watched that, and I found that had some reactions to me. So I avoided that stuff. But I've moved past that now, so I can watch something like that and see all that gore. But on the last episode, something occurred and it triggered something from me from the shooting. And at the end, this young Marine who'd seen all this carnage comes back home, and there's not a scratch on him. And I was at home cooking dinner in my apartment and just watching this last episode, and this is something that shook me.
No.
That triggered for me feelings of sadness and depression, and when I finished high school, I didn't get into any of the university courses that I liked. And I'm quite an active person, so I thought, you know what, I might join the Australian Army. But this is 1991. At that time, the Army wasn't too active, and they just dig ditches in the middle of the Australian bush for 6 weeks. So I felt like, oh, that's not for me. Had a conversation with my mum one morning, and she said, oh, Daz, why don't you join the police? I thought, I join the police, what I learn, I get to apply. That sounds great. And a week later, my father had a conversation on the back veranda in the evening and said, son, I don't mind you joining the police, but I'd rather you join the federal police, because that way you wouldn't have to go to those domestics and have the possibility of being stabbed, shot or killed. And I thought, what's the chances of that happening? And sure enough, it did happen, and I felt really bad for what I put my parents through. And you're going to see a little bit what they went through. But what did I do? I picked up the phone, I spoke to my mum and dad, and they made me feel good. They said, son, you could have decided to be a bus driver, and you could have been a bus driver who was recently just at work and burned to death. And so I believe really when you're experiencing or if you experience some of these problems, it takes positive actions. That's a pretty heavy amount of information to take in. So how about we take 5 minutes, take a breather, and I can have a chocolate for it.